Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United at the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United, the National League, are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
And good evening. Welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Midweek Social, and I'm not doing it live because I'm a scaredy cat and I'm worried about being bullied by people. And joining me tonight, I've at last got some members of the women's team to join us, and I've got in the order of my screen, so there's no particular order. I've got Fern, Darcy, Gabby, and Cindy. Hi guys. We'll start with you, Fern. Hello.
Hi. Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Because I say the whole idea is to raise a little bit of profile of the ladies' team and yourselves in the team. So not everyone would have known who you guys are.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Fern. It's my second season at Sutton, and we've had a great season so far. So I've really enjoyed playing for the team. I've been in football for a long time. So I first started playing football when I was 10. Played Super League level for Mill Lionesses, loads of different teams, Fulham, QPR, and different academies. I've played abroad in America. So I've been in the game for a long time. I'm really enjoying my 2 years at Sutton so far. Yeah.
Right. So I'm sorry. This is you look about 12.
Yeah.
So have you been in the game for a long time?
Look after my skin. I'm 26 years old.
Okay.
She moisturises.
Puts that anti-aging cream on.
Is it filters? I don't know.
It's not even. I've just got good skin, you see, Mike. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll come back to some of that in a minute because hopefully we're going to be playing against some of your former sides next year.
Yeah.
That'll be good. And Darcy, hello. How are you?
Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And again, about who are you? What tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'm Sutton United's number 10. No, joking. No. So this is my third season now at Sutton. And I've been in the game quite a while as well now. So I've been at high clubs. So I've been at Chelsea, I've been at Arsenal, I've been at Charlton Athletic, where I've played at a high level in the Premier League when I was only 16 years old. So I've been about, same as Fern. But this is the first season. Obviously, we're pushing for promotion. So I'm really looking forward to finish off the season strongly.
Excellent. So you've obviously started playing when you're about 2 as well, then.
No, I'm only 23, but I started playing when I was 4, and I got signed for Arsenal when I was 7.
Excellent, lovely. And Gabby, hello. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
I mean, it's not as exciting in ways. I don't have Chelsea under my belt. I have Crystal Palace. No disrespect to Crystal Palace, put that out there. But yeah, so I've been in the game again quite a long time. I've got 3 older brothers, so I used to go to their training sessions, sometimes even join in. And I got sort of asked to play a primary school game, just for the fact that I've got 3 brothers. And in that game, I got scouted for Palace, which I played that till I was like 16, 17. I actually was going to stop playing football until my PE teacher, who was a former Sutton player, told me to go to Carshalton, which I played there for a season. I met Cindy there, and then we all came to Sutton. So I've been at Sutton now for 4 years, isn't it, Cindy?
I think it is, baby.
Yeah.
Excellent. You do have something though. Sorry, I do know this about you. You've played cricket at Lords.
Yes, I have. I've actually I've represented my brother 12 times in the London Youth Games. At one point, we won 12 times in London Youth Games. I've only ever won one medal. That was gold though, and that was for football. So yeah.
So just little notes for everyone else. Make sure your mum doesn't talk to me at the games because I found out this other stuff about you.
She likes to tell you don't need to try to brag about her daughter.
And Cindy, last but not least, captain. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I don't know where to start. I've been around a lot longer than these guys because I am in my 30s. I started out when I was like 8 and played for Wimbledon before they become MK Dons, so that's how old I am. And then I've played for local sides like Tooting and Mitcham. I got promoted into the National League with AFC Wimbledon. That's about it. I've been at Sutton for 4 years, centre back, use my height. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, sorry, Gab. Carshorten was my greatest time because I met Gabby, so that's where that came from. Yeah, so me and Gabby played together for like, is it pushing 6, Gabs? Yeah, 5, coming up 6 years now. So yeah, we've got that partnership. We know how each other work.
Yeah, I caught the goal on video. Not the goal, sorry, a goal. Sorry. It's not,
no, we can call it the goal if you want.
Yeah.
I am taking a lot of credit for that game because I was watching you from the wrong spot, and because obviously with it being a little bit more open, I wandered around a little bit, and it was as soon as I moved back to my right correct spot, you suddenly scored 3 goals really, really quickly. So I'm like, okay, this is the right spot. I will stay here.
if you can go to that spot every game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fairness, Rosie does kind of walk there first now, so.
I mean, Rosie was our lucky mascot that day, so we can put it down to that as well.
Was, yeah.
I've been told off because I said she might get a chance to kick the ball around, and then she came off straight away, and she's like, "You said I could kick the ball." I was like, "No, I didn't. I said you might kick the ball." But one thing, obviously. If any of you have ever heard this before, you don't have to. I kind of jump all over the place, so I do apologise. There are a few differences, obviously, men's games, ladies' game. And there was one match, I think it was against Dorking at home. Darcy, you'd scored 2 goals, and next thing you're subbed off. And I'm sitting there on the sidelines going, what the hell's going on? And it took me a little while to realise it's roll on, roll off. Because I was
what game was that?
Was it Dorking at home? I think
the Dorking at home game. I wasn't there because that was
okay. It wasn't that game.
Yeah, no, it was definitely not because I didn't play Dorking at home.
Okay, there was another game. You scored a couple goals and you got taken off.
That's Duncan for you. No joking. I'm joking. No. To be fair, it is roll and roll off, and to be fair, it gives everyone a run around. And when you're blowing. It's when you got fresh legs, that's what you need on the pitch.
Next year though, isn't it free?
Yeah, so I think it depends on what
next
tier.
Year goes for free.
Yeah, depending on the tier you play at. So if you're in the National League, and I believe the league we're possibly going to be promoted into next year, that is restricted back to 3 subs. But yeah, The idea is that the lower tiers have the roll and roll off, like Darcy said, for like inclusivity and make sure that everyone gets some game time.
They've changed the names of the leagues now. What is the league?
5.
Yeah. Southern Premier?
It's tier 5. It's the London and South East Regional Premier Division.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then when you go up from that, it's
better.
It's they need to the National League, I think.
Championship.
Yeah, and then
Championship.
Super League.
Yeah, Championship used to be called Premier League when I played in it.
Yeah, that's same.
Changed that name, and that Super League's always been Super League, Yeah,
but that's because it's again.
I play with superstars.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want my autograph?
This is why I tried to do the interview now before you lot got too big for it.
We'll stay humble.
Now, Mike, we've listened to it. We're not doing it again. So we'll come back to the sort of the game. There were a couple other things I wanted to talk to you guys because obviously I've known the women's side for a little while. You don't always play at Gander Green Lane, although I did love your stat that you haven't been beaten at Gander Green Lane since 2019 or something. I think you put that up, Cindy, the other day.
I did.
But you've obviously got quite a bit of attention recently, and I think single-handedly Gabby has increased Sutton United's support by about 1 billion%.
Well, you say so.
By the time I stop reading a lot of the comments, I'll be honest, because I go into full-on dad mode, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. But it's like, oh, we're all Sutton United, and I'm like, no, stop, Mike. There's nothing to do with it. But that kind of things with the pictures and stuff must be really sort of frustrating to a certain extent. That it's great people are talking about women's football, but I've deliberately today, as I said, I've read a lot and heard a lot about women in sport and outside of sport, and I've spoken a lot to Kaz in the Hurricane 2 thing, and there's a huge amount of just abuse about the images. One thing I wanted to kind of say was, I know there was a picture of Darcy and Gabby at Wembley, and there was an awful lot of comments about Vince taking pictures at Wembley. All they're interested in is taking a picture at the football, and I'm sitting looking at my phone going, well, fuck me, there's just 150,000 photos here of me at Wembley. Who doesn't go to Wembley to take a picture of themselves? It's just mental. Is it as bad as I see it as, or is it worse than I see it? Fern, I know you're on social media, so you...
No, I can't really comment, but I did take that photo, so...
The credit.
Yeah. I knew you'd say that, Fern.
So what do we think? Is it as annoying and as stressful as I kind of see it as, or do you just
from
water off a duck's
my perspective, it's kind of the comments that we've kind of probably all experienced away from social media, and social media has just provided a platform in which people can express these opinions more visibly. I think that's probably the issue, is that there are those stereotypes of people only do things to look a certain way. I mean, like you say, you go to Wembley, you want a picture, you've been at Wembley, like why would you not want that? I think, like, to draw it back to the other subject matter as well, like people make comments on I know Gabby's photos and probably Darcy's as well, about them choosing to wear makeup when playing, or it's a lose-lose, because if you play makeup, you're asked why are you playing makeup when you're playing. If you don't wear makeup, then you're probably insulted for looking a certain way and not looking as female, in like quotation marks, as maybe people would assume. So I feel like it's one of those things that people are always going to have opinions on, and social media is definitely added. I know Gabs has probably got more to kind of input on this, but just from my perspective, it's just those comments of things that we've all experienced before as to why play football as a woman and things like this. But yeah, it can be annoying, but sometimes you just kind of rise above it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 girls, so yes, I may not have been tuned into it before, but now my oldest is 17. My tune kind of goes, whoa, you can't. I wouldn't dream of saying something sweet. Yes, I will admit I do take the mick a little bit, but I think it comes across as it's taking the mick and I'm deadly not serious. But to see some of the comments, it's like, you are joking. You can't. How could you say that? Especially, I mean, some of them do it from their own accounts with pictures of their wives and kids.
I think from my perspective, obviously I've spoken about it anyway, but I think in terms of parents, my parents, I don't think they're even aware of half the stuff that I get said, and when I read it out to them, they just laugh. And my parents have sort of brought me up to sort of do the same thing. So I've always said not everyone in life's going to like you, and everyone's going to have an opinion, and you might not like that yourself. I have my own opinions on people and whatever. But yeah, I think the thing that I hate probably the most is the ones that some people will see it as a compliment, and it's all about, oh, how good looking or whatever, and it gets a bit embarrassing. I mean, I get like horny things put on under my post, and if I tag the club, they see that, and it's the most frustrating thing. And it's like, it's in life. Not even just women's football now, and I've started to notice this. It's all about how you look, and it really shouldn't be about that. And I actually, on talking about that Wembley post, because I tend to message Cindy with all my anger so I don't retaliate to any of the comments. And I remember I'm all for girls supporting girls, and there's this one girl that said, "Oh, but you couldn't tell me the offside rule." And I was thinking, what? Why are you saying like you should be supporting girls? I play football. I know the offside rule. I can tell you it right now. But it just, sometimes it surprises you what some people can say. But like I said, I think you just got to laugh it off. That's my opinion.
I was going to open. I decided not to, but I was going to open with, so, girls, who's going to tell me the offside rule? Because I have quite strong opinions, because I've done this before with someone. I've heard it oversaid. So, I bet you don't know the offside rule, and I've kind of gone, no. You tell me the offside rule first before you start questioning her about the offside rule, because I will maintain 99% of the people do not have a clue what the offside rule is. There's a post on Twitter today. There's someone has put, I think clearly for a joke, Liverpool Mane on his own half, saying, "Oh my God, he's offside." But some of the comments of people going, "This is absolutely disgraceful." It's like, it's clearly a joke. It's clear, and they are literally looking at me like, "Okay, don't ever question someone's knowledge of football, because it's clearly not your cup of tea, mostly." And it is the most bizarre question. And I've heard there was one girl as well. I think she's Rochdale. She was asked to tell the team of the Rochdale team in 1995 the lineup for a particular game. I couldn't tell you the lineup from Sutton United on Saturday, let alone from 20 years ago. It's like, this is not the prize you think it is, mate. It really, really isn't. But the only criticism and comment I have on some of the pictures on Instagram is I obviously follow you guys, and I get other accounts you might like, and I'm like, no, I don't like any of these other accounts. Please stop. But luckily, I've now been shown how to see less.
Take that.
Yeah, so I can do that. But Darcy, I know you get some of the comments from your way as well. Is it same as for you, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everyone sort of gets. I know Fern doesn't have social media, but I mean, I think we all experience some sort of horrible comment, But as Gab said, I laugh it off as well. I mean, I send some of the comments that I get through to Gab, and we just laugh about it. Like some of the comments, and like obviously they can't just send me a message, so it's always on like a private message, and I've got to set the request. I know that's the same for Gab, but I just scroll through, and some of the stuff is disgusting. Like I wouldn't even say that to anyone myself. It's just because we're female, I think they feel like they can just say that to you, and we're just going to respond to it. But obviously we're not going to, because I just laugh it off. But at the end of the day, no one is going to like you, and that's just what it is.
I had this one bloke that every time I post a football post, it could be a football post of the whole team, could be of just me. He always says either women playing football is pathetic, whatever next, you should be in the kitchen. Every time without fail, I've got about 18 screenshots of it on my phone. And I went into my DM request, and he's DM'd me telling me how he's a lawyer and he thinks I'm beautiful and all this. And I'm thinking, oh wow, surely not. Like, you've just tried to insult me 18 times, and now you're trying to chat me up. Look, make your decision. Oh,
he hasn't seen my cooking, Gabs. Maybe that's where I should be.
God, yeah.
Well, this is what I'm wondering.
I'm making food, Jesus.
Do they kind of think they make this comment and you're going to look at it and go, do you know what? You're right. That's marriage material right there. I'm going to go around his house and get some dinner. Right.
Well, I'm sold. No.
So yeah, guys. If you do send the messages, they're laughing at you. So please just don't embarrass yourselves. Other things, I know my demographic is not going to be very young girls wanting to play sport, but I know you guys really do support women playing football as well, because obviously you're trying to help others along. I had, my daughter used to play, Lottie used to play. She decided she didn't want to play, and I gave her lots and lots of encouraging things and looked up various stats. And one of the things was girls who play team sports tend to have a better body image, simply because they see different shapes and sizes, because everyone's body is slightly different. I mean, she slapped me down completely by saying, "Does it look like I've got a body image, Dad?" And then that was the end of the conversation we've had for about 4 years. We're not talking about this anymore. But would you agree that team sports helps build confidence, apart from the obvious social media crap that we've just spoken about? Fern, you've not said anything for a while.
Yeah, the social media I couldn't join in. I think team sports are so important to get involved in. You mentioned the body image thing, which I hadn't thought about actually, but it is true. It's good. I mean, we've already spoken about how women, there's so much pressure on us to look a certain way, and the focus is on looks as opposed to us actually being strong athletes. And being exposed to that, seeing different body types in a team is really good. But it's just good to work with in a team, builds a lot of skills. So yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of those things that when you're younger, like I can speak for myself, that I was really quiet and shy as a kid, so I didn't. It was one of the reasons I got into football. My mum was like, "Oh, let's try and integrate her into groups of people and kind of get her into that team environment." And I think it definitely helps, because you can be a quieter member of the team but still feel included and still feel part of it. And I think then for where you're like, when you're doing well as a team and everyone's like encouraging, and even in situations maybe when it's not going so well, you kind of come around each other and support. And I think it's important life lessons you learn, especially younger, in those environments, that you can then take forward into like life situations. That sounds very deep, but like you can take those skills into like different avenues of your life. And I think it is important to be part of like team sports in that way.
I mean, we're quite lucky, aren't we? Because our team is not cliquey. We sort of, everyone gets along, everyone talks to everyone, and we all know what people do as jobs. We know, it's nice, because sometimes you play a sport and sometimes you don't know. It's just you turn up and they're a teammate, and you've got a team with 11 players that all just want to go higher up. They're not intrigued in that actually being a team, and that's not just in the women's game. That's just in sport. But actually at Sutton, a lot of the girls, and you can ask everyone, we love how close the girls are, and how we're actually a team that all get along. That there's no groups. It's everyone just chats to everyone. So I think that helps in terms of the social aspect as well, because like Cindy said, you're a bit more quiet and you go into a team that's a very bonded team. You then suddenly start to feel that you've got people around you, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go back to the body image thing as well, I think like even if you'd looked at our team lineup, I mean, I'm 5'11", pushing 6 foot, and I'm a bigger build player, where you've got like Darcy's 5'1.5", and like
wow,
you get the variation in height and size and build. And even with age, like you get teenage girls, obviously that's a different size to like a woman. Like it's important to see that different the different body types, because you then suddenly don't look at yourself and go, "Oh, I don't look like the girls on Instagram or magazines or whatever."
Yeah. So what we've learned from this is Darcy wears long studs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just see the studs that Mika wears. Jesus.
She's not to defend herself.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Get that out.
Yeah. So I was talking about, so just on that, so when you kind of do we tell people, I don't know if any of you in relationships or you not in a relationship, but do you kind of just say straight away, "I'm playing football"? Because I know Sarah, who's a huge Sutton United supporter, one of the things she had many years ago is she liked football, and blokes loved that. Partners, yeah, you like football, but they didn't actually quite understand. No, I don't like football. I like football, and she was obsessed, and it kind of threw him off. So, do you sort of say straight away to your partner, "Look, I'm playing football every Sunday. That's it, non-negotiable," or do you not bring it up and let it just develop over time?
I think, Fern, you're the one only in a relationship here, aren't you?
I'm lucky because he's a footballer as well. So we both have a love for football. And I brought it up straight away. It was one of the first things I said to him. I play football. And that's how we really started to get along, because we're both quite sporty, and he's never had a problem with it. He's come down to Sutton and watched me play before. He also plays on Sundays, so he comes down when he can. But I don't think, it is an issue with a partner, it should be the first thing that you bring up with them. If that's your passion, they should be accepting of that and encourage you. Yeah.
Right. I deliberately asked it because as a bloke playing football, they wouldn't have the conversation. It wouldn't come up. They wouldn't say, yeah, by the way, I play football every Sunday. And it was just me asking the question. I was like, I know I wouldn't ask this to a guy what they say to their missus. So that wasn't a trap, but it was kind of a leading question to say, isn't it weird how our minds are tuned to go, I better bring this up just in case. Because this is your hobby. It does lead me on to another question. Do you guys, and this isn't a trap, do you guys watch football as well as play, or do you just literally play?
Yeah, no, I definitely watch football. I watch any football, to be fair. But I know I support Tottenham, but I'll watch anything.
Up the Spurs.
Yeah, we said football.
Up the Chelsea.
Me and Fern.
Yes.
I think I could say for majority of our team, we all watch football.
Okay.
All watch it.
I think there are some girls that don't, but I think, on the whole, majority. I think we probably do, yeah.
But again, Lottie didn't play anywhere near your level, but she's just not interested ever in watching football. Not once was she interested in watching football. And the fact she said you wanted to play football, I'm like, are you sure? And she played, and we tried to we tried to encourage her to watch football just to see different things. And she's not interested in the slightest.
I can't watch cricket though, but I can play it.
I can't do like you, Darcy, and watch a match because I have to have some kind of vested interest. And I'm going to be honest, the first couple of times I've come to see the Sutton ladies team, there still wasn't the connection. It's only after I've been a few times that I'm like, right, now I know these players. I know you're wearing Sutton colours and everything, but I just can't sit and just watch a random game of football unless I have a vested interest in it. But yeah, it's just
how many games take? 2?
Yeah, there was one that you weren't very good though.
Oh.
No, her.
I'll set myself up there.
Oh. Yes, and I was going to say we'll move on to sort of talking about the game coming up and the season so far. I am hoping that we can encourage some others to come on at various different points, and now you can obviously say I don't take the piss. Apart from that, but Gabby, how was playing in goal on Sunday?
To be honest, at this point, I think I might just mute myself to talk about the game. So gutted. Can't even put it into words.
Gloves on the 1st of May. Oh my God, what's that?
Oh, you never see me in goal. I've got a money maker in my face. Can't get it.
But yeah, so last Sunday was it 1-0 at half time and then 3-0 at full time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So full of confidence going into the game, or was there a little not
going
sure?
into last week?
Yeah.
Well, we knew it was an important game because we had 3 games left, and we know that we needed to win 2 of those in order to secure top spot and promotion. And Hackney are one of those teams that can be quite difficult to play against. They like to. They previously played at Hackney Marshes, but thankfully we didn't play there because that's a bit of a leveler when we play them. But we played on a nice 3D surface, so there was a little bit of nerves, but I think nerves are important. It means you care, right? So yeah, I mean, I think we hit a level of frustration in the first half because we scored quite early with a great goal from Liv, and then we had a few chances that maybe we should have taken and didn't, and then you start to think, oh, is it one of those days? But yeah, I mean, we kept our cool, kept playing, and then got there in the end.
Were those chances because of Darcy's calves going, or?
That was more to the end than that.
No comment.
But you're all right now, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm all okay now. I'm ready to train tomorrow. So
excellent. So yeah, we're going to go into your last home game of the season, and obviously we don't just judge things on league table. You've got to be fairly keen that you're going to get the points you need. Who wants to take that one?
Fern?
I'll say it. I'm not there, so we're going to win. There you go.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident in the girls. I think we're going to go out and do well and get the result, to be honest. Home game as well, our ground. Yeah, we're going to do well. Up. Yeah.
Yeah, got a record to keep up. We're hopefully going to get a few more people down to support.
Free entry.
Is it free entry?
Is it free entry?
Free entry.
Oh well, there's no excuse then, is there?
I'm going to be honest. The whole entry thing has confused me quite a lot because there's been times I've gone in and they've just let me in. There's been times where it's been a £5. There's been times it was £3. Then it was just show my season ticket. So I'm like, I don't know. Just stand at the gate going, "What do you want?" I don't know.
Nothing to do with us, that one.
Yeah, no. I think they should make it clear. And again, I think we might have missed the boat a little bit. But I think they should make it clear, like with season ticket holders, you tag on an extra bit or something to get entry to your games as well. But yeah, I think the more people that know, the more people that wander down, because people have been supporting the club for many, many years, like me. We used to be able to walk around the whole pitch and can't do that anymore. You're not allowed. So it's nice to just get that old school feel of just rolling around a little place. It's annoying when you've got a 4-year-old wanting to try out every single one of the seats. But hey, that's what hooked her in. So we'll do it. But even, I think it's Dulwich in second, but they've only got one game left, which is against Dorking, who are in third.
Yeah, they're playing against each other on Sunday as well, aren't they?
So they're playing at the same time as you guys, yeah?
Yeah.
An hour and a half kickoff later than us, so we'll be finished before them.
But if we win, that result doesn't even matter.
It won't make any difference. No. When we win, we get promoted. And as you said, it's the top league you can go into outside of the National League then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. And we will be up against some big clubs that we've mentioned, Fern's old club.
Millwall's in that league. I think Fulham's in that league as well, aren't they?
Fulham,
Millwall, AFC.
AFC and Wimbledon are in the National League.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think we can actually challenge. I'm not one to get really ahead of myself, but a lot of the players in our team have played that standard. We know what it's about. I think next season's actually going to be, it's going to be a test, but I would still back us, I'll be honest.
Yeah, we played Whiteleaf and beat them. We played Welling, who are league above, and beat them 2-1.
Could have beat Fulham in the pre-season, but we'll trying things out, switching the team constantly.
We were leading by half time, but definitely
switches. Yeah. I think that's the one thing with women's football, though, as it's still progressing, the leagues aren't fully set, I would say. So there are times where, for instance, some teams in our league that you would say are actually, because really there's only 4 teams that are competing, and then there's a few that are sort of straggling. I don't know if you could put this in the podcast, but I think that's one thing with women's football. It's still not fully established that you're actually saying the right teams are in all the right leagues, because I feel like we really and truly should have been promoted and should have been doing it all a few seasons ago. It's just COVID and I think. Yeah, so
again, that was one of the things I've been trying to sort of work out where we are and where we sit. And you're right, we were a fairly new team a few years ago and kind of seemed to fly up through the division. So you wonder were we in the wrong place? It will settle down because there's absolutely no doubt. And this is completely mercenary. This is nothing to do with banging the drum for the women's game. The only way that clubs are going to grow really is to put more money into the women's game, to get more people to come along and spend money on the women's game. Because if you're a big club like Tottenham or Chelsea, those games are already sold out. So they can't get any more people in there. So they're only going to be able to do it from the women's game or the under-23s, which isn't going to happen. So hopefully it will explode and all the benefits will come to you guys, except for maybe.
There was 90,000 plus people watching Barcelona women play the other day at the Camp Nou, which is amazing.
They're hitting records,
Yeah, and was it Newcastle?
Yeah, 22,000. Yeah.
So you get straight away again the comments almost straight away. Oh yeah, but they're only charging this much entry. It's like, yeah, but what you've got to remember is the men's game when it started was only charging this much entry. And one of my other constant battles is women's game was banned for 70 years, so there's 70 years worth of catch up needed.
I think the worst thing people can do is compare women's football to men's football, and that's my personal opinion. But I think that's the worst thing you can do. I think, yes, the word football and the game we play is the same, but I think you've got to take it as two different sort of sports in ways. You know, women's football's on the rise and it's developing. Men's football has been around for so long. I think to compare them, you're not doing either the men's or the women's game any justice. I think you've got to treat them as two different sports, in my opinion.
I don't think it happens with any other sport, though. I don't think you get there's no comparisons between women's cricket and men's cricket, or the same with rugby. It just seems to be this football thing that people think they should be the same and on level par, and we should be paying the women the same, and all this. There is decades to catch up on. So I think the progress it's made over the last 10 years has been huge anyway. So I think, like you say, the only way is up, really.
Yeah, I've said similar to you, Gabby. It's a different game in so much as the men's game is all about being physical. And yes, you expect someone to barge someone off the ball, and it doesn't happen so much. I know it does happen sometimes, but it doesn't happen so much. So it is, if you go into it expecting to see the same thing, you're not going to see it. But as you say, if you go into pretty much any sport, apart from things like snooker or darts, where it's not the same physicality, it is going to be slightly so different. And yeah, there's that whole thing of, I love it when people go showing clips of female goalkeepers. None of you are goalkeepers, so except maybe it's the goalkeeper making a mistake. Isn't this funny? There are a few good blokes who dig out the clips of male footballer goalkeepers going, okay, but is this just as funny? Is this just as funny?
Yeah. I think when men make a mistake in the Premier League, it gets nowhere near as much attention as if a woman made a mistake in the Super League. Because it's just the idea that women can't play football.
Yeah, you're coming in and stealing our sport. We've got to gatekeep it from you. We can't possibly let women play or watch football. That's ridiculous. But we're all looking forward to Sunday and getting that promotion party.
Definitely.
Yes.
I know Gabby's not going to be there, but we're going to FaceTime her and she's going to celebrate with us.
Well, listen, we all know that the real party starts when I'm there. So when we come to Albion tonight, that's when we will be celebrating when I'm there and I'm the organiser. In the meantime, I'll let you girls do what you got to do. Bring back the win. FaceTime me, tag me, do what you got to do. But we all know where the real party is.
So is the trophy going to be there, or is it at Gabby's house?
Gabby might have stolen it. No, I'm not sure yet. I think that's it's in discussion, I believe.
Excellent. Well, I'm very much looking forward to it, and it's given me a whole new set of punishments for Rosie to be like, well, you better behave, or there'll be no football at the weekend, so it's even better. And I do think somehow I've managed to tick off every single thing I wanted to, which is actually really, really, really good for me. It's quite amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I really hope to have you guys on again. You're welcome anytime if there's something you wanted to say. No, not ranting or anything, but if there's something you want to say, just
that might be really out of order, isn't it?
Yeah, he knows. Don't worry. But yeah, anytime anyone wants to come back on, just drop me a message and we'll arrange it. It doesn't have to be on a particular day. I can do it anytime I like. I'll make it up as I go along. So thanks everyone for listening. Give us a shout on the social medias at Sutton Podcast. I am on TikTok, as I keep saying, but I still don't do it, so I don't know.
We've got to make a TikTok together. I'll make you go viral.
Yeah, no, you're right. You scare me on that because do you know what? I put that thing about I great at social media because I saw you lot at Wembley and I had that whole long discussion about your fixtures and when you come back to Candy Green Lane and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, oh yeah, wasn't that clever not taking a picture of these with the guys? And I just left it. I didn't do anything. And then when I looked at that Twitter analytics, I thought, hang on a minute, there's something going wrong here because all my little bars are down here and there's one way up here. And I looked, it was one that you'd retweeted and suddenly 80,000 people. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm terrified. So when Cindy come back and went, oh yeah, and Gabby's going to do it as well. Oh, okay. I'm not scared. I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm all right.
I'm harmless.
I know you are. I did think you were going to get me back about some of the gentle mocking, but
No, so I've got three brothers used to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you let me off very, very lightly. So thank you for that. Thank you, Fern. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindy, as well. Good luck Sunday. We will be there waving, and I'm sure Rosie will be shouting. And I think young Bruce is going to be there as well.
Bruce.
I love Bruce. This little boy. Honestly,
that picture of him with the umbrella. Raining on Sunday.
My favourite one was where he had this little ball and he was walking around with his ball in the men's awards night asking everyone to sign them, and then he come to the women's team and all asked us to sign and got a photo with Zoe and he smiled. Oh my God,
so cute.
My heart actually just split in half. I'm not joking.
He was there. He was playing with Rosie. I can't remember the exact words, but he was talking to her and he's like, how old are you? And she's like 4. And he goes, I'm 7. And then he looked and went, I'm not very tall, am I? we were crying. Yeah, love him. I'm sure him and Rosie will be cheering from the sidelines on Sunday. So make sure you wave.
We will.
Always.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Again, thanks for listening. I've waffled on even longer now, so I can't finish a conversation. Take care, guys. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
United!